Welcome to Gamesthetic. This is episode 220. I'm not Alex Light. We are actually going. I'm not sure what we're doing today. So what are we doing today, Alex?
Well, you see, we have Steam Next Fest. We're going to talk about some demos that we played and why John would love Unmourned. We're also going to talk about the Altars, or at least I will, because it's a really fun game. It's on Game Pass and you can play it. And I guess we'll touch on the Xbox Showcase and talk about that
And I'm actually curious about the Altars because I keep looking at it, but I don't know what kind of game it is. So I'm looking forward to talking about it.
It's really good. I've really enjoyed it. I've only played about 4 hours and it's pretty fun so far.
All right, this is all my energy. Bye.
All right, see you, buddy. John, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm done with y'all for the day.
Wow! That was quick. Damn. We just started. So you got to give it at least 15 minutes.
I haven't even been here that long.
You got to give the show at least 15 minutes before you can say that you're done. But hopefully you're having a phenomenal day, whatever day you're watching
15 minutes.
Well, you've been here for about 15. We got to give the
That's
show
all.
about 15.
That's. I'm not agreeing to these rules.
All right. Well, hopefully you're having a great day, whatever day you're watching or listening to this episode. We already basically just ran through what we're going to chat about. So looking forward to a few different conversations. Plus a couple other things to touch on later on, like apparently just the gigantic mess that is Dragon Age The Veilguard and the entire development behind it. Some other Sony-related news and Mind's Eye. And Dragon Age is a fun game. People should give it a shot.
Just the development was awful.
The development sounds like it was absolute hell. The Mind's Eye situation, shout out to that. That's also that's something. That's something for sure. But yeah, it'll be an episode. It will be an episode. And also, off the top, go ahead and establish this now. We're throwing this episode up to God right now. It's clear at the moment where we are, but there are supposed to be storms, and I am notorious for losing power. So if we lose power, show's done. Thanks for listening. It is what it is.
You'll get half an episode.
Yeah, you'll get whatever, however it ends. That's the episode for the week, and hopefully
If
you
John's
enjoy it.
lucky, he'll get out of the Gamesthetic Game of the Week.
Yeah, that's true. It is his week. Yeah, it is his week ready to fire. So, anyway, but yeah, you can support if you want to support us further. The Patreon's a great way to do so. We're also going to shout out some Agent Ink and Rogue Energy later on in this show. And if you're watching on TikTok, make sure to follow. We'd appreciate that. All right. So, boys, anything we want to chat about before we jump into stuff? I guess I'll shout this out. Zach and I were talking about this before you got here. Shout out to Hunter Line. Finished the prologue. Finished my first run. Just a really good game. You should play it. Great game. Really enjoyed it.
If you like tactics games.
Yeah, true. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. You know what I found out today?
What's that?
I apparently got a free copy of Gears of War Reloaded.
Oh, because you bought the
Ultimate Edition.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that Xbox was sending out free copies.
Yeah.
If you bought the Ultimate Edition back in 2015 or whatever. So shout out to that. Shout out to Xbox.
I now own 4 copies of Gears of War.
Oh, I misunderstood that. I thought they released a new Ultimate Edition and you bought that.
No. I bought the Ultimate Edition back in 2015 and played through it. And now that Reloaded's coming out with the fancier graphics, they're like, here you go.
Yeah, it's like, here, take it. Why not? Which, hey, shout out. I mean, it's going to Game Pass anyway, so a lot of people's going to be able to play it just that way regardless.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, whatever. If you bought the Ultimate Edition, just here you go. Just enjoy. So, yeah, no, shout out to that. I did see that this week. That was pretty cool. One thing to shout out also with just Xbox and stuff is that did you guys? I got it in the weekly wrap up. Did you guys see the whole physical game thing that Xbox is doing?
Nope.
Yeah, so apparently, like for the first party games going forward, like they're gonna sell a case, but that case is just the digital code, like literally in the box. But then like the PS5 version of the game, that's the one with the disc. And I'm just like, why? First, I mean, and besides like the hardcore collectors and fans, whatever, you know, it's just like, why would you buy Xbox first party games? You can just play it on Game Pass. So I mean, I get it. I don't buy Xbox first party games, but like at that point, just don't even release the physical
I was about to say,
SKU.
if you're going to save money by not making discs for one of your systems, don't even worry about pricing out the extra,
Yeah, exactly.
the boxes, the cover arts, actually shipping and whatnot to distributors.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It makes
Just fully go, hey, we're digital only.
Yeah, like I don't see the point in that because like I was watching, you know, because we've seen in the last like year or two, just like different first party games not get a physical release because you know maybe we knew it wouldn't do well.
Yeah.
You know, like let's say Hellblade 2, great game of course, but not one that was going to move copies if it got physical. But like I was watching the Outer Worlds 2 direct, and you know Ben Schwartz, shout out to him. He was he held up a physical case of Outer Worlds 2. I'm like, oh, it's actually going to have a physical release. Shout out to that, and then found out no, it's not. It's a digital game card. No disc, just a card in a box. It's like, why are you even selling it?
But that, I mean, we knew we were coming closer and closer to like
Yeah.
games going all digital. This is the stupidest way to. This is the
Yeah.
most Nintendo way to do it.
And it's not even Nintendo on the
Right,
headline.
right.
This is like Nintendo going, well, we gotta sell them a box. They're gonna want the box. It's like no.
That's the same
No.
argument for selling WWE little Jimmy figures.
Shout out to little Jimmy. Shout out to little Jimmy. What a throwback. Shout out to R-Truth, too. Shout out to Ron Killings. Well, they've been calling him both names. They were calling him R-Truth the other night. But
Well, that's on their mistake.
yeah, like it was yesterday on
It's
SmackDown.
Ron the Truth Killings now.
Yeah, I know, but they were still saying R-Truth. But
Well, yeah,
they're
I mean,
using both.
That's probably just
Habit.
20 years of habit.
Yeah, right. So, I don't know. Anything you guys want to shout out? Anything you guys want to chat about before we jump into stuff? Love some Pib.
Yesterday we got the launch of 3.26 in Path of Exile 1.
Nice.
It's 3.26 Secrets of the Atlas. Been playing it. A lot of fun.
Nice.
I was very excited to go back to the first game with a new league and get to play it again.
Yeah.
Because I like Path of Exile 2. Still prefer 1. It's my preferred game still.
That's fair.
So glad that we've got another league. It had been close to a year.
Mhm.
So I've been playing a lot of that in the past like 24-ish hours.
Good. What about you? You got anything you want to shout out to the Scream from the Rooftops?
Among Us hit 7 years.
Oh shit, did it?
Yeah.
It's crazy. You know what else hit 7 years? The reveal of Elder Scrolls 6. Jesus Christ. I saw that happened this week. 7 years since the reveal of the title card. The fact that even Todd's just like, yeah, I may have revealed that one a little too early. It's like, oh, really? You think?
I'm going to be honest, even back then when it happened, I'm pretty sure most of us went, this is literally just them going, hey, we're working on it. Leave us alone.
That was my mindset.
It wasn't even like, hey, we're working on it. It was, hey, after we finish Starfield, this is what we're going to do. That's how they phrased it. It's like, okay, well, yeah.
It's a thing. It's on the drawing board.
Yeah, and then Starfield took a little bit longer to get out, and now here we are in 2025. And
Yeah, and then they, had to spend some extra time working on it to make people want to play the game.
yeah, I still have not gone back to it. Hopefully one day I will.
I won't.
But we'll see. We'll see.
I more likely would download 76 and go fishing.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about downloading 76. I never played it.
Dude, the amount of love the 76 has gotten is crazy.
76
What a turnaround.
was a turnaround, yeah.
Yeah, what a turnaround.
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
I might do it. It's on Game Pass.
Now they got the fishing thing coming out. It's a great time.
It's already out.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, John.
Yeah,
It's a great
no,
time to play.
It was released the same day they announced it.
Okay. I know John likes his fishing in games, so it's a great time to jump in, man. Because 76 is one that I also have not played since the launch, personally. So it's one of those things where I always look at. It's like, should I go back and give it a shot? Because it's like, it's gotten such a huge turnaround.
I mean, from my understanding, it is very good now.
Yeah.
I mean, the main point for veteran 76 players, if you were playing from launch, is that they just luckily have like a bunch of sort of legendary equipment that could only be earned in 76 during specific times. That is stuff that's been taken out of the game because it was just too groundbreaking. And now they're like literal pretty much ancient artifacts in the equivalent of 76. Like people hoard these things, and like actually losing one is drastic for the community because like once it's lost, it's gone. We're not recovering that back.
Okay. Got it. The same mindset I've had around 76 is I've said this before on the show. It's like, oh man, I look at all these cool updates coming out. It's like, should I give ESO a shot again? Because I also haven't played ESO since launch.
Nope.
ESO looks fun.
Nope.
It looks fun.
That's what they do with their marketing. It's very good.
Yeah, it's very good marketing. Okay. Again, I have not played it since launch.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, one is like 76. Do you want to go have a good, like, probably 100-hour trek and have a lot of fun? ESO, do you want to go spend 500 hours playing the game?
Yeah, basically. It's honestly that's why I haven't gone back to ESO, because it's the same reason why like me and you, like and a lot of our friends haven't gone back to try to do Destiny 2. It's just like, oh god, where do you even start?
I was about to say,
so much to
for
do.
ESO is more the MMO mentality versus 76. I mean, it technically is an MMO, but
Right.
it's far less of that grind mentality.
Yeah, it's a lot easier re-entry back to the game if you
Yeah.
haven't played it.
Because when you really think about it, 76 has a lot of updates.
Yeah, it does.
So it does have a lot of content to it,
right, right.
where you could easily spend a ESO amount of time in it.
Yeah, true. All right, boys. Let's jump into stuff. Do we want to start with altars or Steam Next Fest? How we feeling?
What do you think is going to be the better conversation?
I mean, as a group conversation, Steam Next Fest.
There you go. And then let's go with altars first.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Shout out to the altars that came out this week. Came out Friday. It is on Game Pass. I personally had no idea about this game until I started my June Metacritic video. And I just saw it on there. I started watching trailers for it and stuff. I was like, oh, this actually looks pretty sick.
Is that when you knew about it? Oh.
Yeah, I had no idea about it until I started doing that Metacritic predictions video.
I saw it like a couple months ago, and just every time I looked at it, I was looking at stuff and went, I so the only thing I understood is there's multiple of this one person, but when I looked at like screenshots of one, I was like, I don't know what this game is. Is it base building? Is it survival?
Both.
Is it narrative?
Yes, all three.
Okay.
Yes, all three. Correct. So yes, no, everything he just said is correct. It's base building, it's survival, it's a narrative based, choices matter kind of thing. Where you are playing Jan Dolsky, you are a builder for this project, and as you and your team get to this world, everyone died on the way there except for you, and now you're just stuck in a situation with your big base. It's a giant wheel that can move around, and you. It's basically like very, in my mind, and I think a lot of people's mind, based on just general reviews and stuff, like Fallout Shelter type of like inspiration.
Look like.
Yeah, it's very Fallout Shelter like, which I love because I love me some Fallout Shelter. Love me some Fallout Shelter. You know, the base is all built within the wheel, and the wheel again, it can help move you around the world. And one key element to the game is, you know, the planet is just filled with so much radiation. The sun is filled with a lot of radiation, so you have to constantly keep your base moving to prevent from, like, you know, the sun hitting your base, hitting you guys, whatever, because it's going to obviously kill you. So like basically every time you go to sleep, you wake up and it gives you some sort of heads up of like the sun is X amount of days away, the sun is very far away, whatever the case is, and it's just kind of ticking down of like when you start seeing like in my case, I got up to day 22 before something happened, and I either had the choice to keep going or backtrack. And I'm just like, I'm gonna come back to this and figure out what I want to do. If I want to backtrack or just keep full steam ahead.
Because the sun was going to kill you?
No, just because something happened.
Oh.
I'll say what, because it's not a spoiler, because it's like it could not happen. You know, it just depends. It's not like it's not narrative.
A
Spoilers.
sandworm attack?
Do what?
A sandworm attack?
No, not a sandworm attack. That's not a thing yet. I don't know, because new things keep happening, so I have no idea. But no, so you know, as you kind of get into it, you're just trying to find your footing. You're trying to make any sort of communication that you can, leaving the base, setting up different, you know, little mining posts to get any sort of resources you can. And then when you finally are able to kind of get some communications going, that's when basically the head corp that's leading this entire mission, they're the ones that drop, hey, go use the quantum computer. You know, if you go in there, you can do this and this, wipe everyone else's, you know, mine logs, whatever, and yours will be left. Go in there and you can use what's called the womb, and basically go clone yourself, go make an alternate of yourself. They give you the heads up to kind of go do that. So you go in the quantum computer, you go through there, and you can see your entire life for the main one. Like, you can see his entire life played out at different ages of just like kind of like his just traumatic trademark backstory of where he and his mom were super close. His dad was abusive. His dad was a drunk and everything. You know, as you go through, you see where like he like doesn't stand up to his father, doesn't follow in his father's footsteps, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. You know, meets a woman that he loves. They start to kind of drift apart. You know, this happens, just everything that leads you up to age 35 when he joins this project. And when you're going into the quantum computer and the womb to basically pick a alternate, the first alternate you get is going to be the technician, just by default. So how it decides where it is just a single point somewhere in your life that is your branching point, where it's like, if you would have done this is how your life would have went from there. So I think for the technician, I think it was like I think it was like age 20 and it was standing up to your father, I think is what it was the branching point of where you became like a technician eventually, or you went the route that you went with the default wand. And then when you go through the technician route, that's when you start seeing how the technician's life played out, just going through different jobs. You got a really good job, and there was a boss that he really looked up to, kind of bonded with, almost like a father figure kind of thing. And then apparently that boss was like buying like illegal stuff, for their plant and everything. Cops had to raid it. He got arrested. Then technician one felt betrayed, kind of thing. Like, it's really fascinating seeing how all the different all the different branching life points play out for each individual character. Because like for me, in my case, the second alternate I made was the scientist. So it's the same thing. Like the scientist, his branching point starts after like you already had started like gone to college and stuff. So like, default one chooses not to go after this science degree or whatever, and his professors were like really disappointed. And in the scientist's case, obviously he did. So in this route, you still meet the same woman, Lena, that you love, but with the scientist route, they just fell completely apart. Because he's focused on work, he's focused on being a scientist. She is also wanting to go do her thing with college. Like, they meet later, kind of thing, but they're good friends, and it's just this. Yeah, it's fascinating to see all these different routes. And then after those two, from what I could tell, it's pretty much kind of free game on like when you're able to get another alternate who you pick. So I picked the miner, because it's like, I could use some help with mining. That would be great. That'd be awesome. I could really use help getting these resources, and his life story is traumatic as well. Dude lost an arm at one point, in a mining accident. So, whenever he gets recreated from the womb, he has his arm, which causes him to freak out. Like, why do I have my arm? What is going on? And that's one of the most interesting elements to creating all these characters, is that conversation point between the real one and them of, yeah, you got created, you're a clone, and kind of navigating those waters of helping them kind of get on board. Because like, at first with like the technician, you and the technician were really at odds, because the technician is just under that mindset that
So wait, are you romancing yourself?
There's no romance.
But you're talking to them, trying to convince them to join this project that you just brought them to. So like you're sort of trying to woo them and be like, hey, this is a great idea. Look, it's just all of us. We can just...
I wouldn't call that romancing, but you are trying to woo them in a way, yes. I wouldn't call it romancing, though.
I got a quick question for you. What do you do in the game? I feel I've been trying to like listen.
He has stated the narrative part.
Yeah, I'm going through the narrative aspect of things right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
John's like less story, more gameplay.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to talk about the game, but you're just talking about like the 3 alternate potential lives. And I'm like,
this is all important, because again, like one key element to the game is maintaining the morale of all the alternates at the base. So like that is a key part of your gameplay, is like everyone kind of being on the same page to some extent. Someone not being super pissed off, getting recommendations from certain characters, because that also opens up more doors. It's like when you and the technician kind of get on the same page, he starts giving you more ideas of what to do with the base, or at this, or at this. Same thing with the scientist, and I assume the miner as well. I don't know yet. So this is also one of the interesting elements, is that depending on a few different choices and how you manage your time and manage your resources. I mean, people could straight up die. The miner straight up died for me at day 22. So what happened in my playthrough that I was working on is the miner, with this arm that he has, right? Whenever he lost his arm, he was obviously on a lot of painkillers.
Did he just go too far?
Did
he realize I have the strength of 2 arms instead of 1 now?
No.
And he just caved himself in, which is too powerful or a swing?
No. He did chop his arm off, though. He did chop his arm off. So he asked for painkillers, because he's like, even though my arm is here, I still feel like the phantom pain, right? And it hurts like hell. He's like, I'm not a wimp, but if I'm telling you it hurts, it hurts. So you can agree, give him the painkillers, but then as you go day by day and he's working on something, you keep getting a notification, miner got into an accident. The miner got into an accident. The miner is injured. And you can keep confronting him. It's like, I heard you got in an accident. Are you okay? He's like, I'm fine. It's not a big deal. It's just a scratch. He's like, I heard you're injured. Are you okay? And he's like, it's not the painkillers, I swear. So it happened like 4 times. So I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to take the painkillers away from you just to see what happens. and then he chopped his own arm off in the kitchen. And he ended up just dying from his injuries. So shout out to that. So now I think I'm going to try to backtrack and leave him on the painkillers and see if he's going to die by like an accident, by just getting injured. So I don't know. It's just interesting. Now, as for the gameplay, the whole aspect of the gameplay is like base building, trying to basically get rescued. You're getting this certain resource called Rapidium, which the Rapidium is used to create more alternates, and it's the whole point of the mission. It's what the Corp is there for, is the Rapidium.
I'm sorry, Rapidium?
Rapidium.
As in like repeat?
Yes, I assume.
So you can alter yourself to repeat your life?
I guess you could look at it that way, yeah. It's
Also-
a different way to look at it.
Also, imagine being the rescue crew of this at the end of this and roll up to
and
this
it's like
base.
40 of them.
And there's just 20 of the same guy, and you're going,
What the fuck?
it's like, what do I do? I'm here to rescue Juan. Ah!
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're all one. Oh, yeah, right. You roll, because like that's also that, man. Honestly, I hope you actually get to see how that plays out, because apparently with the whole quantum computer, the womb, the alternating thing, that's like a top secret classified thing. And the only reason why you were even told about it, it was actually like the head dude of this mission said, yeah, go ahead and tell him about it, because like we kind of need the Rapidium. So like if he's there, we need him to get it. So like it's top secret. You can even do that. So I hope I get to see that play out.
So you saying that only makes me think, because anytime alternate people are reacting, my mind immediately goes to comedic situations.
Right.
And so all I picture is them going like, so he's going to get you rescued. And what are we going to do? Do we tell him to start killing himself? And then just back on the ship, there's just all around a round table in the kitchen. So who's going?
Yeah, who's gonna do it? Oh god, that's great. That's great and fair. That's a fair thing to think about, because now you've got me thinking about it. It's like by the time I reach whatever the end of the game is, because I'm in Act 1 right now, so like, what is that? How is rescue gonna go when that time comes and I have like probably like 15 to 20 of me? You know what I mean? Now you've got me curious. But no, for the general gameplay, your whole idea is just to continue to essentially stay alive, avoid the sun. So as the base moves and gets to a new point, it's like we've already moved the base once, and the new point that we got to is blocked by a gigantic lava river. So now we're set up, and we're just mining materials, and we're trying to figure out how to get over it. By getting more materials. It's a step-by-step material kind of game, building your bases, assigning your alternates to go do different things. So it's just like technician, you can just assign him to general base maintenance, like, oh, hey, go make the food. If anything breaks, go take care of this, go take care of this. Obviously, the scientist, I keep him in the lab for all research purposes. The miner, he was helping me out in the field, but obviously he's dead, so that sucks. And then with them dying, it just pops up to the screen. It's like, miner's dead. Do you want to continue or load a game? And you can just reload and try to prevent it. So I can choose to say, well, I guess miner's dead, and just keep moving.
So if the altar is dead, is that it? You can't make another version of that one?
I don't know. That's one reason why I kind of want to hit continue and try again.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because like one key story element that I was working on, I was in the process of working on, is getting him a new arm. Because like what was kind of talked about was just like, get him a new arm, whether if it be like a prosthetic or like grow him a new arm with the womb, which is something the scientist was exploring with a serum that was going to grow him a new arm.
I thought you said he already had an arm.
Yeah, he chopped it off.
Oh, so he didn't die from just chopping it off.
No, yeah.
It was a couple day thing.
Yeah, it was a couple days, and I was trying to get all the resources to do everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, and it was completely like at random for me. It wasn't like, it was first thing in the morning. Like I'm out in the damn field. I'm mining some organic material, and all of a sudden it just pops up midday at 1 o'clock. Oh, miner's dead. I'm like, what? It's like, damn it. So again, now I've got the choice to keep moving or try to reload. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's been a lot of fun for the few hours that I've played, man. It can be a little stressful with a few different things that kind of pop up, because I'll tell you where things really started to derail for me, where I feel like it probably kind of led to the miner dying, because I kind of had to go backtrack on stuff, is there was an electromagnetic storm that took place. And man, it fucked shit up. It fucked shit up at the base. Me and the tech was constantly having to repair stuff, and it just kind of set me back on a couple things. Which then you can just further just help with more research stuff and more building to basically help further streamline stuff like a standard base building game like this. Like just think Fallout Shelter and your early humble beginnings of what your vault was like and what it was like after playing the game for X amount of hours, right? I mean, it's the same concept. You get more people, you streamline your efforts on everything, and then I guess we will just continue to see further what the actual like overall narrative is besides just getting rescued, because it's multiple acts. Like I mean, like I went through the prologue. I'm in Act 1. So in terms of the overall narrative, the only thing that we have is that we're trying to get rescued. They're working on the rescue mission, and we're here for this Rapidium that we found, and we're still mining the Rapidium to help further accelerate the rescue. So, yeah, that's the name. So sorry, buddy. But
I was looking at the Steam page over here because I'm like, I still have no idea what the fuck this game is.
Just base building survival.
You say that, but then you're like Fallout Shelter and like talking
of,
about
that's
being out in the field. I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck is this game?
Yeah,
the screenshots don't help you do it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
They
help
do
you.
Eventually.
Yeah, like I had to watch the trailer to fully grasp
They
it.
do eventually get you there, because that's why I was confused over here, because I'm like, is this like, are you just looking at a screen and when you're saying you're out in the field, are you just telling your character to go? No, okay, you're actually going out.
Yeah,
I didn't know what the fuck this game was.
Yeah.
I've never looked at it before.
Yeah.
And your description was just making it more confusing
I'm
for
sorry.
me. But I guess if you don't know what the altars is, it's hard to describe apparently.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's
Because
definitely one just to kind of give it a shot.
Even looking at the screenshots, it still didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You have a database where you can make your other selves.
Yep.
You have a top down or side forward Fallout Shelter type base building.
Mhm.
Then you have like any standard survival game of stepping outside, touching grass, and grabbing materials yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. You see, when you said the base was a wheel, I was picturing like a cool looking like traveling thing, not that goofy bitch.
It is goofy, brother. You are not lying. The base looks so stupid.
I had to do. I like that. You may have seen me be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I do.
That's,
It's
that's what I
basically a
saw.
wheel
The
with,
picture of
like-
the wheel. I was
it's-
like, "What is that?"
It's a wheel with like just a bunch of connexes. That's all it is, dude. Like it looks dumb, but it works, and you can further upgrade the wheel too for more like just room space. And
Maybe you can make an engineer one, and he tricks that thing out.
Yeah, more than likely. Because so where I'm at now, the other options that I've got is I've got a general worker who will just stay in the workshop the whole time. Let's see, I've got a researcher, which is different from the scientist, and then I've got one called a guard, but he's not like I saw that. I'm like, is he like a physical guard? And kinda like the description that reads for it is like, when all the other altars act up, he'll pull them into a certain room and set them straight. And I'm just like, okay, all right, buddy, I don't have that room yet. It's not even an option for me to unlock yet. So I'm gonna hold off on that one.
So you have another one that just puts people in their place.
Yeah,
if they're about to start a mutiny.
Basically, I got like a therapist one that I can make. I mean, basically,
I mean, it sounds like you probably should have made those before your guy offed himself.
right?
Hey, buddy, I keep hearing you using too many meds. Why don't you step in my room and we can talk about it?
Basically, no, because dude, when the arm thing happened, it was first thing in the morning. My guy woke up, and I get a little ping from the technician, and he's just like, "Hey, man, we got to talk." And he was in the kitchen. I'm, all right, let me go down to the kitchen. Walk into the kitchen. Him and the scientist are just cleaning up blood off the floor, and I'm like, "What happened?" It's like, "Yeah, he chopped his arm off." I'm like, "Why?" And then he was useless for a few days. He just,
Not just a few days.
yeah, dying. So I was like, "Ah, crap." So I don't know. It's been a really interesting game, man. You can go through. Your alternates can get into arguments as well, and when those arguments happen, it's just trademark, pick a side or stay out of it. You can just walk away and say, "I'm good." And when you pick a side, sometimes it does. Yeah, it'll literally tell you does nothing, or it gives you an additional quest where you can do this, whatever.
I think the problem is you're trying to be too involved with it. Don't you got shit to do?
I got a lot of shit to do.
Well, figure it out.
I'm working on it.
They may be clones, but they're adults.
I'm working on it, brothers.
We're all adult ones. Figure your shit out.
Basically, that's yep.
At the end of the day, they're coming to rescue Juan Prime.
Juan Prime. And the only one that
That's
fully
the only one that needs to make it.
yeah, and the only one that like fully grasps that and doesn't really give a shit is the scientist, because obviously he's a genius, and like right when he woke up, he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, this is what's happening. So what went wrong?" And he's just like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm just here to do your bidding, I guess."
So he just look at the Prime One and went, "How'd you fuck this up?"
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and he basically roasts. He's like, "Well, I can tell you don't process information as quickly, so here's another way I'll explain it to you." And I'm just like, "God bless, fuck you." So no, it's been a really fun game so far. I've been really enjoying it. Look forward to playing more. Like I said, it's on Game Pass, so it's worth a shot.
You think you'll ever get the one that became a clown?
I wonder if there would be a
It's the
comedian
playable
one.
character.
I wonder if there's yo facts. That's basically Juan Prime. If we're gonna be honest, you look at his life story versus the other. He's basically the clown. That's not wrong, because I think it was actually Juan Prime, where it's like later on in his story, it's just like he's going to parties, having a good time, and the jokes are just rolling off him, is what it said. So yeah, actually you're not too far off. Juan Prime is basically the clown. So shout out to that. But no, The Alters, fun game. It's on Game Pass. Give it a shot. I've been really enjoying it so far. All right, let's shout out a sponsor. Shout out Rogue Energy. Use our referral link down below, promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. If they got a better sale going on, don't worry about it. Just use our referral link, and you can still help out the brand. You don't have to use our promo code. Whether it's for the hydration line, the chill line, or the energy, they're all fantastic. We recommend them all, and you should 100% pick them up. All right. All right, boys. You want to talk Steam Next Fest? Been having some fun there with some demos. A lot of good demos out there. A lot of good demos out in the world.
There are a ton of them right now.
Yo, facts.
Yeah, pretty much everything in Next Fest had a demo. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've been pretty lucky this time with Steam Next Fest, or maybe lucky's not the right word. I've just picked games, and so far all the demos have immediately translated into going on my wish list and just waiting on them to come out at this point.
Nice.
I've played a few, not as many as I would normally like to play. But
I was going to ask you at some point, John, how was Frosthaven?
it is pretty good.
Okay, because I didn't even realize I apparently had wishlist that at some point in time, and I got an email saying, "Hey, Frosthaven has a demo." I went, "Oh." And then I saw that you and one of our friends had played it.
Yeah, we pretty much we played it a little bit, like with three of us, and then me and one other buddy was playing it. Frosthaven, for anybody that is wondering if you played Gloomhaven, very, very, very similar. But yeah, I've played a few demos. I was gonna look. I've played Frosthaven. I played name of it. Let me look at my recent game. Played a game called Abyssus. Abyssus is pretty good. It's probably the one I've enjoyed the most so far. It's a third-person roguelike game, or a first-person shooter roguelike game that has like, it's pretty fun because it's the movement in it is pretty good.
Mhm.
Everything's fast paced. You can get you get a double jump and a dash forward, so you can zip around pretty
So
good.
it's got some good mobility.
It's got some good mobility to it. It's interesting. There's 4 weapons available in the demo, and each weapon, not everything is available in the demo, but there's 4 different weapons, and each weapon can have like a different barrel and a different secondary firing mode, because the way they classify it is primary fire, ability, and secondary fire.
Mm-hmm.
And between like the different weapons they have and like their elements that you would essentially, your power ups are just different element types that get added on to the different firing modes. It's a really fun game so far. I've played a few hours in the demo, and yeah, at this point I'm just waiting on that game to come out because I'm gonna play the shit out of it when it comes out. Also played a game called the other main one that I played up was a game called Jump Ship.
I saw you hop on that.
Jump Ship
It
is
sounds interesting because that was one I was looking at.
it's a sci-fi like kind of salvage game where in the in the first mission of the game, where it's like the prologue mission, you essentially escape a planet with a ship that's kind of broken down, and then you go on missions, and during the missions you like it almost looks like a roguelite map
Hmm.
where you have your starting point and then you pick one of two or three locations to go to, and then from there you go to another one. But at like uh, each location, there's like broken down ships and things like that that you can go on and loot containers. But there'll be like pirates and like space pirates and that are attacking you that you got to shoot down. There's ship combat.
When you say ship combat, like you're actually controlling the
You're
ship.
controlling the ship.
Okay.
And the controlling the ship, the game is made for co-op. There's the person who flies the ship has control of
I guess that's
ship guns, and then there's a secondary, like for a second player, a weapons control station.
okay. That's where I was gonna go. Was like, is there different parts to control? But yeah,
Yeah, there's different weapon controls. I assume as you upgrade your ship or get a better ship, you can add more modules and stuff to it. But in the beginning, you're limited because you essentially have like a wall on the ship that as you unlock, or that has like a generator that you input into it, and then it has so many like lit up squares on it,
yeah.
and everything that you want to put on there has to be completely covered by the lit up squares, and a lot of them are taken up by like the normal ship function type
Yeah.
stuff, so like reactors, engines, things like that. So as you continue to play and you unlock like a larger and larger map that you can put out there, like you can have multiple different weapons in the weapons control station that you actually have to go and install on the side of the ship. You don't just get to shoot infinitely; like you have to gather resources in the mission to craft more ammo for all the different weapon stations, and then go outside the ship and
Load them.
and like some of them you have to go outside the ship and load it, and then there's uh like a ammo station that you can load up. But if you want to swap out weapons that the ship has, you gotta go outside the ship and load them, like swap them out and load it up. Uh, but yeah, you basically fly the ship around till you get close to a point, and then you jump off the ship and like fly in your spacesuit and fly out there, and then you have like repair tools. There's a ton of different weapons because there'll be like uh, kind of like sentry robots and stuff that are kind of flying around guarding the stuff that you're salvaging that you have to take out. It's pretty fun. Only played like 2 missions of it so far, but it kind of gives you the gist of the game, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Opposite of me, I've been playing Dead as Disco.
Oh, I saw you get on that. That's one of like the top trending ones right now.
Yeah, because I actually caught wind of it before Next Fest, and was actually happy to see that it put out a demo for Next Fest because I think it's the same one they put out a couple months ago because they did put out like a technical demo for a little while for people to mess with. It is Rhythm Sifu.
Okay,
Okay.
so the quick little preview I saw of it, that's what I thought. It was like, this looks like a Rhythm Sifu.
It is Rhythm Sifu. The little demo it has 2 main modes. It has the endless disco mode, which you can just go through the list of tracks that they have in the game, and you just beat up enemies to that track until it ends, and you get a score for the leaderboard. Or if you're real fancy, you can import your own songs and play those on it. And then it has the actual one of the actual levels because the main story it's trying to tell is you play as Charlie Disco, and you have died, but through some shenanigans you've come back to life, and you're now trying to figure out why you died. So you have to go fight the 7 idols, who are all sort of different genres of music styles. And like the one they have in here, Hemlock, he's sort of he's designed as punk, but the song they have going through the level, um which is more like glam rock. But yeah, so you got your hits, your counters, dodge. You have your fancy takedown. Um, more or less, you don't have to beat up people to the music, but if you do, and you do more damage and stuff like that, you have your fancy fever rush where you beat up people with nightsticks.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it was very entertaining little demo because like it wasn't like the full level. It was just literally they said it's a prototype of how they have it sectioned off.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're just gonna have like different sections you run around through like an actual map leading up to the boss fight. But I mean, it was fairly interesting because you had your initial ballroom where you're just fighting people. Then you ended up in a subway where you have trains coming out different ways that you have to dodge to when they're coming at points of the music.
Right.
Which eventually leads to a nice little offset where they both come on, lights flash, and send you to another room. Yeah, overall, I have fun with it.
Nice.
It's rhythm games and it's Sifu. I'm completely fine with it.
Nice.
Dead as Disco is going to be a phenomenal game when it comes out. The other one I've been messing with is Rift Storm.
Yeah, I saw you that you were playing that today, weren't you?
Yeah, it's an ARPG with guns and then just characters with abilities. More or less, I forget what they called them, but more or less rifts have opened up across the world, releasing the paranormal and things like that, because most enemies in the demo are either spectral enemies or hellborns. And it's an ARPG. You pick one of the 4 characters that are available in the demo. You choose your loadout in forms of a little token, which enhances an ability in some form or fashion. You have general ones, and you have character specific ones. Weapons that you get at the end of missions that are just called artifacts. Different weapons. Each character you can use different sets of weapons. They all have rarities and bonus skills based on rarities and whatnot. The main types of missions are just standard sort of dungeon crawls. You go through several sections just killing through enemies and grabbing loot, which ends in a boss fight. There was actually which those can be done in single or solo or as a party. Anything can be done in solo party, but there was 2 dungeons which can be done solo very easily. Then they had 2 that were suggested parties, which one was a wave defense. You had 2 spots you're trying to defend, and it maxes out at 59 waves, but it has segments where after every like 10 or 11 waves, you can just go ahead and extract and end the mission there, or you can keep going where it gets harder and get better loot. And the other one was just a giant boss fight. And yeah, no, it fucked me up as a one person. Each character has their own sort of play style. You have a turret, someone who sets up turrets and more or less uses summon creatures. Big ass tank. He does stagger damage. He gets buffs from having more health, things like that. You're just standard character. Throw lobs explosives, shoots things a lot and very well. Named Rook, because that's your tutorial character as well. And then the last one, I did not actually mess with her, so I don't actually know what she does. Yeah, that's all. I mean, it was fairly interesting. It'll probably be an interesting ARPG to hop into if you just want one that's sort of a more modern style with guns and the paranormal.
Right.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, it was fairly entertaining. It does try to overwhelm you a bit, which can be a slight pain, but I mean, it's sort of standard with some ARPGs.
Right.
But I mean, for people who aren't used to ARPGs, I could very well see down the initial staggering of just how much it overwhelms one, not being great. Because like, even on the dungeon levels, there's points in it where I was just like, that's a lot of mobs on the screen.
Right.
And the last one I've been messing with is Terminal Brigade, which is the best way to say it's a PvE hero shooter.
Okay.
Because you choose a mission, you can do it up to 1 to 3 players. You pick a character, and the demo was 3 playable characters. They each have their skill sets and whatnot. more or less a map consists of zones and then boss fights. At the end of each zone, you're able to. It's because it's got roguelike elements. So at the beginning, you get a perk, choosing one of the 3 gods of this virtual realm you're currently trying to fight in and stop a virus from taking over.
Mm-hmm.
So you take one of their initial perk sets, which gives you a couple skills and a couple passives to start you off with. Then after you've cleared through each zone, you can pick up another perk, which is just randomized from the pool. And then you can have a perk that is on your primary ability, your minor ability, your reload, your dodge, and then just a passive. So yeah, after you're in the zone, you either get a new perk or let you level up a current perk you already have. After so many rooms, you'll have a boss fight, which once you complete, you'll get access to. I forget what they were called, but more or less it's a specific perk to that character, and you can only have one of them in a run. So after each boss fight, you can either keep the one you have, or you can change to a different one if it seems better for your build you're running on that current map. Overall, it was very entertaining. I enjoyed the 2 characters I was able to play. They were very fun with different play styles, which were very viable to be able to succeed on just as one person. The boss fights themselves, I will personally hope as launch is a little bit different, because for the most part, it was just a lot of bullet sponge and just dodging attacks. It is over the shoulder, so there wasn't very much versatility in them other than looks and just attack patterns. Like the last one on Ring City, it's just a giant snake, mechanical snake that I just had to keep shooting. Dodge its bullets whenever it charged, just run it into cover to stun it, and just bullet sponge into it. So I mean, hopefully for the boss fights a little bit more versatility, because I mean, other than just being bullet hell sponges.
Right.
But I mean, looking at the characters, it seems like it could be fairly entertaining. But if you look at it, Alex, you can see it, the designs of the characters and sort of how things are set up for the characters. It's heavily inspired by hero shooters.
Okay, fair enough.
So I got two that I haven't played that are on my list to try out. One of them is a game called Necromancer's Tale. It's a CRPG where you play a minor noble who kind of gets drawn into the dark arts of necromancy, and then tale goes from there. It says it takes place in like alternate version of like a 1970 or 1733 Venice. So looks interesting. I'm excited to check that out because I mean it looks fun. It's party based CRPG, so I'll probably enjoy it. The other one that I was wanting to try out is the comeback of Vindictus.
Yeah, I saw that, the Vindictus. I was like, wow.
Vindictus got its demo. I haven't tried it yet. A buddy of mine played it, and I asked him about it. He goes, like Vindictus. He goes, it's kind of like modern day Vindictus. I was like, okay, that's kind of
actually very good.
I was like, that's what I needed to hear.
Vindictus controlled very well from what I remember.
Yeah. So I haven't tried it, but I've heard that it still feels good to play. So.
See, I did see that. I should actually look at trying to pick up that demo too, because like I was surprised by that too, John. When I saw Vindictus, I went, "Wait, what? Vindictus?"
Yeah. So I'll definitely be giving that demo a shot. But yeah, I just wanted to shout those two out as well. Haven't played those yet, but they are on my list to play.
Nice. I've jumped into a few different ones. There's only 3 that I really want to shout out and talk about. One of them, honestly, might be my favorite of the 3, but it's not like super. I don't want to disrespect the game. It's not like super unique or anything. It's just it really hits you in the nostalgia. You know what I mean? And that's good enough for me. Called Elementalis. Did you guys see this one?
Nope.
So this one is straight up 100% basically like Link to the Past, but with elements. And man, does it hit in the nostalgia. That was my first Zelda game. Great game. Would love to see it get remade in like a Link's Awakening style someday. But that's essentially what this game is. When I looked at it, I looked at the screenshots, like this is literally Link to the Past, but there's elements involved, and you boys know how I love my elements. So no, I mean the game just starts off where you're the son of these two elementists who are trying to destroy the elements. The elements are like these little, almost like yokai-esque beings of each of the core elements, and their goal is to destroy them all. But with obviously doesn't say why. They're just like, I know we can destroy them. I know that we can destroy them, but they don't come off in the sense of it like they're evil and want to destroy it. So there's obviously probably a narrative purpose there. They try to go destroy one. You happen to follow them. Shit happens. You get the 10 years later screen, and you've been raised the last 10 years by their last master that they had. And he basically said, it's like, yeah, your parents were determined they could do this. And even though they're wrong to do this, and go out in the world. You know, it's like it's dangerous to go alone. Take this kind of thing.
I was really hoping you were going to say this. He was raised by the elements.
He was not raised by the elements. No, so like over the last 10 years in the narrative, the elements are gone because like I guess your parents succeeded. So like, you know, the first village that I get to go to was a village of dwarves that had a lava river going throughout the village, and the lava river is dried up, and you have to go into the mines and do this, and there's like it's like you're gonna have a temple to do. I mean, it's literally Zelda. I mean, it's just Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, basically with elements. So it's like if anyone like if that's like their favorite Zelda, if they love those old Zelda
so
games,
is this
like
2D
this
or
is
3D?
This is 2D.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's like imagine what Link to the Past looks like on the Super Nintendo. That's what this game looks like, but like obviously HD and colorful and fancy. So like look, Link to the Past is someone's favorite Zelda, and you enjoy element combat and elements just in general. Play this game because it'll hit you in the nostalgia, and it'll just be a fun time. It's not like the greatest game on the face of this earth, but it's cool. It's fun. I'm here for it. So that one is on my wish list. And then the big thing that I was here for was spooky games. I wanted to check out some indie horror games, and I got two that really enjoyed. One of them is already kind of popping off on its own, so it's not like I'm bringing any additional light to a game. And that's No, I'm Not a Human, or No, I Am a Human. That's what it is. No, I Am a Human.
Isn't that more of a thriller game than a horror game?
It's both. Yeah, it's kind of both.
Okay, because I mean, I've seen people play it. I never really thought it was a horror thing.
Yeah.
But again, it's mostly a who am I going to let into my house simulator and not going to cuck me.
Yeah, basically. It's a who's the imposter kind of situation. Yeah, so like the whole idea of the game is
I'm actually sort of surprised that one popped off for you. Okay.
Yeah, no, that one's actually popping off.
Well, I knew it was getting popular. I just didn't. I'm surprised that you chose it.
Oh yeah, no, it looked like a lot of fun. And me and Christina both were enjoying the hell out of the demo. When it popped up in the demo, we're like, damn it, we need to know what happens the next day. But no, the whole concept of the game is that there was an explosion of the sun, which in reality we would all be dead. Let me go ahead and establish that. That basically just caused where you cannot go out into the day. If you go out into the day, you're just going to burn to a crisp, essentially, so you can only go out at night. But with this, has also brought up what they're called as visitors, which are just, I don't know, like mole people, monster people, I don't know another way to put it, that are just going out and just killing people at night. And every night you have your little house, and every night people are going to come knock on the door, and you can choose to let them in or tell them to go away. And when you let them in, you go to the next day, you have the choice to like interrogate them to figure out if they're one of these visitors, because the visitors disguise themselves, you know, as normal people. And if you can detect that one of them is a visitor, you can just pull your gun out and shoot them, and you're just trying to stay alive.
And here's the great thing about it, John. None of them look like normal people.
Yeah, dude.
Is there a consequence to killing a person?
Not really.
No, because I did it.
Oh.
I mean,
what's the problem?
At this point in the demo, no, there is no consequence for killing people.
Yeah.
At some point, is there probably an event that will happen if you kill somebody? Probably.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Because there is a ending for if you choose to not like let anyone in your house. Like the thing is, like people will eventually just show up at your house, kick your door open, and take you away.
Yeah, yeah. If you just shove everyone away, that will happen to you. So shout to that.
Fuck them. They can find their own house.
Right? No, it's just like, so basically when every night starts, you need to check like all your windows, and every night like outside things change. Like at one point you see your neighbor's house burn down. You know, there's a couple nights where at one window you see a visitor just out and about doing its thing, like looking all creepy, just standing there pointing or holding a soldier's decapitated head in their hand. And you go to the other window and you see a bunch of dead soldiers on the ground. You know, like there's different things that you'll see each night looking through the window, and like what Zach said, none of these people look normal. So it's like you can't like deduct, oh well, you clearly look really weird, so I'm not going to let you in. That does not tell you if it's a person or not. They all look visibly very very strange. But as each day goes by and you watch the news, they give you different tells. It's like, so we've deducted that, you know, visitors, you know, have perfect, you know, straight white teeth. That's a visitor. It's like, okay. They have dirt under their fingernails because they dug up from the ground.
This is just like the psychological thriller version of Contraband Police.
Pretty much.
Basically.
I mean, it's pretty much another Papers, Please.
Yeah.
It's like, because that's what it sounds like. And now I understand why it would be popping off, because those games have become huge.
Or like one other ones that recently been popping off, which is more similar to this one, is That's Not My Neighbor.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, each day you got to just kind of figure out if you've got a visitor in your house or not, because if you leave them, they're going to kill people in your house, and you don't want that to happen.
Which the wild thing in this whole scenario is like, you see all that stuff going on and like they're killing armies and whatnot, but they still have the same rule as vampires and can't enter your house unless you invite them in.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's also one of the telling signs. If they come up and they come to your door and they're just like, "Are you alone?" That's an automatic tell sign. That's a visitor, and you're like, "Get away from here." You know, if they come up and ask that, it's GG. You already know. But yeah, no, we did kill one innocent girl, unfortunately, because she had the perfect straight white teeth, and she even said, "It's just like, yeah, I don't know when that happened. It just happened." So it's like that was pretty sus. You know, it's with the situation at hand. So we shot
that she
her.
had straight white teeth?
No, just like, well, number one, because it was like that was the first tell sign you unlock is the teeth thing. Because we got up to 4 tell signs by the time it was the perfect straight white teeth. It was dirty fingernails because they were digging up from the ground to get into up to the surface. Bloodshot eyes, and hairless armpits. Those were the 4 tell signs for the visitors the game gave you. So this was like the first or second night. I got 2 people in my house, and she had like this perfect set of teeth. And she even said, "I don't know when I got it. I guess I went to the dentist." Like, that's just kind of sus. So we shot her, and we assumed like, okay, we got him, cool. And then we actually killed a visitor, and it gives you a little pop up on the screen, a little graphical pop up, and then Christina's like, "Oh no, that other person wasn't a visitor. We just killed an innocent girl." I'm like, "Well, she's dead. We moving on. It is what it is. It happens." But no, had a lot of fun with it, man. That one's like, not like what John said. Not surprised to see it's popping off because the type of game that it is. Having a lot of fun with it, and looking forward to the full release on that one. That one's on the wish list. And then I also checked out another horror game called Unmourned.
Okay.
Now you can fuck right off.
Now you're going to have to explain what went through your mind that made you think John will love this game.
I looked at one screenshot and I went, he can go fuck himself.
That's the exact thought I said, John, because
I didn't look at it until about 5 minutes ago. And I went, nope.
He put that in our chat, and I immediately looked it up, and I saw the first shot. I went, John would say, "Fuck this."
No, John would love this game. John, this game is for you, brother. I think you would have a great time.
I'm busy for the next few weeks playing Path of Exile.
Alex, I'm going to have to drag you to Guilty as a Sock and explain yourself.
John would love it, man. That's his game. No, I will say that game is creepy as shit. Like there was definitely some points that even got me, and I'm usually pretty solid for the most part playing any sort of horror games where it's like I may get like, oh shit, every once in a while, whatever. But there were a couple of these that just like, oh god, like it just got me. Like, so this game man, they nail the vibe, dude. The spooky vibe is so good.
I was gonna say as well, you also know me. It's like trying to tell me, oh, you would love this. That shit doesn't work. You're more likely to get it if you're straight up with me and be like, hey, you know what this is. I just want to see it.
I just want to see your reaction.
It's like, I'm still going to do it, but you're
I just
more
want to
likely.
see your reaction to it. No, dude, literally right out of the gate, when the demo starts, like immediately Christina's just like, "Oh, I don't like this." I'm just like, "Babe, if this becomes too much, just X the stream, get out of here." Because like it immediately starts off, first person, bloody hands, table, blood on the table with a hammer and stuff. You hear 2 girls screaming and crying behind. It's just like, oh god, dude, what is happening right out of the gate? The character walks up to this contraption. It's got it's got 2 ropes coming out, and he just twists it, and then he kind of put something on the table, turn around, and all you see is chairs and feet, and it's just like, and they're just screaming and begging for mercy. And he just walks up slowly, kicks one chair, kicks another chair.
So can I ask, were the dogs out?
Stop.
I gotta know.
The dogs were not there. The dogs were not present. But no, I mean,
You go play the demo, Zach.
Yeah, go play it yourself, buddy.
I mean, I don't care. I'll play it.
But no, man. I mean, I'm talking a fiery start with that, and it's just immediately gets you hooked. And then from there, you're just playing a character who's like investigating.
Like, were they on actual hooks?
Stop. We're not. It's not Dead by Daylight, brother. It's not Dead.
You
by
said
Daylight.
he kicks over the chairs. There was ropes. I don't know. Maybe there
I
was
mean,
hooks.
it could be. I don't know. You don't get to see it. You don't get to see it. That'd be a little too much. But no, you're just basically investigating this house, seeing kind of what happened, trying to figure out more about the people that once owned the house. But immediately, I was already bitching about the game at the front because, like, this is like a house you're investigating. You know it's a paranormal, spooky house, and your character takes a fucking nap upstairs in the house. Like, why are you napping in this house? Because it's like that's what I realized.
Dude
like,
is actively setting his dominance. I give little shits about
for
you,
real.
Spirit.
Because like when like your character wakes up and he's like, oh, it was just a nightmare, or whatever. I just assumed, okay, now we're gonna go do the thing, right? We're gonna leave. We're at our house. We're gonna go do the thing. No, we walk out in the hallway. We're in the house. We're investigating. I'm like, why were we just napping in the house? Why?
It's a long drive to get there, dude.
Yeah, so take a nap in the house that has things that can kill you. Jesus. No, dude, the game is creepy though. Like there's a lot of different points that it hits you with. Just like hallucinations. You know, obviously the trademark, just lights turning on and off, different noises. You can just straight up die. You know, at just different points if you just take too long, or your sanity goes too much off the deep end if you're in the dark for too long. They nailed it on the vibe, dude. The vibe is solid. I'm looking forward to a full release. One thing to shout out though, because it was just bothering the shit. I mean, I told you what it was. But funny enough, like I went and I watched some other videos of people playing the demo just out of curiosity of like, has anyone else noticed this? Because the other game came out first. The woman, like the spiritual ghost in this game that's like kind of chasing after you and popping up and scaring you, top to bottom, everything about her is the exact same character model of the old woman in a game called Pieces of Me that's like that came out in May and it's kind of popping off right now. So it's just like, did they steal from them, or is this just like a basic Unreal Engine asset? I have no idea. I just assumed it was probably like an Unreal Engine like default scary old lady ghostly figure asset, and they just used it for both, you know, because they're 2 different developers completely. Pulled my mic out. There we go. But no, it was just really bothering the crap out of me once me and her realized it, because me and Christina just finished watching Queso play through Pieces of Me. So like it was fresh on our mind of like when we got into the game, it's like, that's Olga. What is Olga doing here? It's like I'm very confused. Also, shout out to this. Talk about a small world moment. Do you remember a couple years ago? I think this might be before you have joined the show. I don't remember. Do you remember us talking about that Summer of '58 thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pieces of Me is by the exact same developer. So it's like when I was watching through this this gameplay of Quesos, I went to the Steam page like, I want to play this too, whatever. I went and looked at it, I'm like, Amiga can't. Why does that sound familiar? I clicked on the developer and I saw Summer 50. I'm like, wait a minute. And I went to YouTube, I'm like, Sparky3 Summer 50. I'm like, oh, we talked about this years ago. I can't remember if you were on for that. Summer of '58 was a game they made that could like literally be beaten in like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So people were beating it and getting a refund for the game,
which was awful.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to that small world moment. So, I assume every game they've developed since is a lot longer. So
I assume they handled that.
Yeah, I would assume they took care of that business going forward. But no, Unmourned was creepy as hell. I'm excited for the full release for that one as well. There's some other horror games that I've got wish listed, but I have not got a chance to play yet. I'm drawing a blank on their names. I know one is like, okay, so one of them, based on all the description, I couldn't tell if it was like a Dead by Daylight multiplayer game, because if it's that, I really don't want to play it. I'm good. I don't want to play like single player stuff, but I know it's multiplayer, but I couldn't tell if it was PvP or PvE. But it was like called like Cult of the Child Eater or something, where you're just you're a bunch of kids trying to run away from like nuns that are trying to eat you and shit. I don't know. It looked creepy, but I don't know if it's like a Dead by Daylight thing where like the nun is a player, or if it's
That sounds more like
NPC.
a Devoured style game.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was one that I had wishlist as well as a few others. But no, Unmourned is pretty sick. I enjoyed the demo for it. It was creepy as hell. That's for damn sure. What up, Steve? Hopefully you're having a great day, my friend. Unmourned. That was the game I was talking about. You guys got any other demos that you guys want to shout out? Shout out to Steam Next Fest. Shout out to Steam Next Fest. A lot of good demos out right now. A lot of good demos out right now. A lot of good horror demos out right now. Go play some horror games. John, go play some spooky games. It's your time, brother.
There's so many more non-spooky games.
Yeah, true. True, there is.
I had to hold up on playing demos so I could play Path of Exile.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's shout out some merch. Let's shout out Agent Inc. Use their referral link down below. Go pick up a jersey, pick up a hat, or go over to sparkythroughshop.com and pick up some merch over there, whether if it's one of the t-shirts like the B shirt, the Lonely Boy, or pick up the We Have Hats hat, or as well as a couple other hats we got over there. Again, use the referral link down below for Agent Inc. or head over to sparkythroughshop.com, pick up some merch there as well. We'd appreciate that extra support. Before we get to the Xbox Showcase and just you guys' thoughts on it, because we have not got a chance to talk about it on the show yet. I did make a video on it. Did you guys have any things that you guys want to talk about first? Anything you want to throw out there? Because I got the Xbox Showcase basically part of kind of the weekly wrap up at this point.
Not particularly.
Okay. What you, buddy?
Nope.
All right. Xbox Showcase. What'd you guys think about it? I already did a video on it. If you haven't watched the video, go watch it. I appreciate that
For
support.
me, it was alright.
Yeah, it was good. It's fine.
I forgot what happened in it.
So,
I guess that says a lot.
yeah. So, out of the major showcases that we got, it was probably my favorite. But that doesn't mean it was like, this is amazing. I'm crying tears of joy.
I think
it was just probably my favorite.
I think I've kind of forgotten what happened with it for the most part.
Yeah.
Mostly due to the fact that none of the showcases really catered to what I wanted for the week.
Yeah, fair.
So it for the most part, it's all forgettable for me.
Right. That's fair.
I mean, my biggest thing was probably getting to see more on the Clockwork Revolution game. That seems very interesting.
Oh my god, that trailer.
It was a lot in that trailer.
Brother, the comments were so funny in the live stream. It's like, how long is this? When is it gonna end? That was a long trailer.
It was a very long
That
trailer.
was like almost a 6-minute trailer.
I'm gonna be honest, it told us a lot.
It told us a lot. I mean, they delivered that game. They delivered what that game was.
Because the last thing we got was all just a bunch of Steam machines working and then just a title.
Yeah. No, I actually really like. While I do agree it went on a tad too long, I did think that Clockwork Revolution looked pretty sick. That was one of my standouts of the show.
One of the biggest sort of just throw it on the dartboard there just to continue the theme. We have a release window for Silksong.
Oh yeah, I know. Just later this year. Just that's all it is.
All we know is it'll be playable with the Xbox ROG whenever it comes out day one. So
Right.
we know it'll be out by then.
Yeah, it'll be out before then. The fact that a new trailer for it got dropped as part of the ROG Xbox trailer is so damn funny to me.
I feel like this point the developer's just like, yeah, just throw it in that.
Yeah, who cares? Whatever.
Because at this point, that's literally all we have for Silksong. Is every time we get its new update, it's in something else.
Yeah, right. It's never just a straight trailer. So shout out to that. Apparently, the overall feedback on that Asus ROG Xbox Li has been pretty positive, though. People seem to, at least people that got their hands on it, Summer Games Fest, seem to be pretty excited for it. So shout out to that. Let's see. Hey, we got to see Game Freak's new game though, Beast of Reincarnation. So shout out to that. That is a Souls-like game. So Game Freak making a Souls-like. How about it? Shout out to Game Freak, man, for having an opportunity to make some other games. Because, they've made some over the years. They've done mobile games, but they did that one console game called Little Town Hero or something. I don't remember. It's like cutesy art style, whatever. But this is I think the first time Game Freak's made a game that has realistic looking graphics.
Yeah.
So shout out to it, which of course, to no surprise, I was expecting this. Quite the conversation online between Beast of Reincarnation and Pokemon. As soon as I saw this, that was my first damn thought is the conversation around this game is going to be very interesting. But here's the thing. I am pleased to report to both of you and everyone listening that 80% of the comments that I've seen is actually in the mindset of fuck Nintendo, fuck Pokemon Company. Like
Yeah.
they agree that Game Freak's not the problem. And
Yeah.
I'm like, thank God people have common sense. Because if the other 20% that said Game Freak is just lazy, you guys don't understand the timelines. Pokemon is under a very strict timeline, dude. They have like I understand the games sell a lot of copies and the game started the franchise, but like, dude, the games are only like a very small portion of Pokemon sales. Very small. Like Pokemon as a brand, the #1 brand in the entire world, by the way, gets all their sales from cards, merch, plushies. That's where the money is made.
Yeah, by the full-size Eevee plushies.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Gardevoir one.
We don't talk about that
Yeah,
one.
we try to forget about that one. So it's just like for the games, it's simply a thing of, hey, we have this new TCG set coming out on this day, and the anime is starting this, and the movie is starting this. So you need to have things done by this, and that's why games. That's why things happen. That's why Pokemon Z wasn't a thing, and that's why you saw remnants of Pokemon Z in Sun and Moon. But those same remnants that was in Sun and Moon was not in Ultra Sun and Moon, because it was just like, well, we were working on Z. Just take the Zygarde cells and the Ash Greninja, just throw it in Sun and Moon, and we're just gonna move on. And then with those same deadlines, that's why Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet to some extent had like graphical issues, because now you're upgrading to a home console. A lot more power behind it, a lot more work behind it versus, handheld lower powered consoles. So it's like naturally you're going to see the implosion. But if you let Game Freak cook, clearly they can make a good game, as we're seeing with Beast of Reincarnation, which looks really sick. I'm actually really excited for Beast of Reincarnation. Did get the confirmation for Persona 4 remake. Shout out that Persona 4 Revival.
No one got the title right.
Yeah, not a single person got the damn title right. No release date on it. So it's just kind of, we'll see when we see it. Did you guys see the trailer for the Animo, whatever it's called?
Yeah, the weird, whatever we're gonna call it now.
Like a Power World type game. That's the only way.
Was it Power World-esque?
That's
It
what I
seemed more
thought
Pokemon-esque.
Pokemon Power World-esque. See, I assumed it was going to be like monster catching type of game, and then it's like, oh, it's like an online multiplayer game. I'm like, what?
So it's more like Tim.
That's what I said. It's like, okay, I guess it's more like a Tim range. It's like online multiplayer. I'm like, what? That did not get perceived to me at all in the trailer. But okay, whatever. I don't know. It looks interesting though.
So John, you have nothing to say about Age of Mythology getting a DLC?
I mean,
Heavenly Spear, fall 2025.
looks cool. I was a little shocked to see that it was getting a DLC.
I was shocked too.
As soon as it started coming up, I was like, wait, Age of Mythology is getting shown off here?
Shout out.
Yeah, I mean, pretty cool. Based on Japanese deity or
Yep.
Japanese and their deities, so be pretty cool.
Another big ass god summoning Yamata no Orochi.
Oh, also shout out to High in Life too.
Why?
I wouldn't expect that.
No, I don't think many people were, because that was supposed to
True.
just be like a one and done type of thing.
Well, I'm gonna play it. High in
Mhm.
Life was fun. I enjoyed
It's
it.
probably gonna be on Game Pass.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Also, the new Plague Tale Renaissance, Plague Tale Legacy. Interesting that we're going away from the rats. That's my main takeaway from this. Like, it's obviously it's a clear spin-off game. I get it, but just interesting that we're going away from the rats. Like,
I mean, didn't they finish off the rats?
I don't know how Requiem ends. I have no clue.
Weren't you at the end of it?
No, I was at the end of the first game.
Oh.
I have not played the second. I do want to play both of them though. They actually have a physical bundle for both of them PS5. I want to get it at some point and actually give those games actually finish them.
The thing that I thought was probably the funniest about this, though, is that we get Grounded 2.
Oh yeah,
Dude, that
yeah.
looks sick.
Yeah,
It does actually look really
Shout out
good.
to Grounded too, man.
And the fact that it's literally just the kids a couple years older after the shenanigans of Grounded.
Did you watch like there was a longer segment where they talked about it?
A little bit. I caught the beginning of it.
So yeah, like you were saying, it's a few years. I think it's 2 years after the events of Grounded, and instead of being in the backyard, they're in the park.
Yep.
And the way they talked about the scale of the game, instead of being in the backyard, they're in the park. About the scale of the game, they're like starting zone for Grounded 2 is the size of the backyard.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Which-
even from that trailer initially, it seemed like how they did the trailer made it seem a lot bigger.
Well, they did that, or they wanted to increase the scale like massively like that, so that they could have what was the big surprise of the gameplay showcase: mounts.
Yep.
They showed mounting spiders, ants, and
Bees.
scorpions. I think. Did they show bees too?
Maybe they didn't. No,
I-
you're right. They were all insectoids.
Yeah. Like ants and stuff are more of your worker, like carry your stuff back and forth for you. And scorpions and spiders are more of, they can be collectors or like help you collect, but they are primarily there for fighting.
Which would actually be very entertaining to use in a fight in Grounded.
And also they're moving towards a more archetype focused for like character builds and stuff,
Mhm.
as opposed to like just put on the piece of gear that has the highest damage.
Yeah.
So they said they referenced like a kind of tank based character, a rogue, ranger, and then they referenced something about a mage. A character being able to be some sort of mage.
Which I'm very curious how that's going to look in Grounded.
But yeah, no,
Because I mean, I think we got a little bit of it seen in the trailer with the whoever had like the little like dewdropped staff thing. It was
it's kind of along those lines of you have something, and it's like, I think they said it was something like science-y with stuff being small. You can kind of like, they're able to play with it.
yeah.
It looks great.
It does look very good. My mind would just be in this form of the setting. The kids of them go, they all get shrunk down. They just look at the scientists and like, you said you fixed this shit.
They also did confirm as well they are doing the exact same early access approach that they did previously.
That's what I was going to be curious about.
They're doing the same approach where they're, but for this one, it's going to be more like it was towards the end of Grounded, where it's longer periods between patches and then big drops of content. Because that's one thing they said is like, we found out people were willing to wait on it, and they would rather wait on the big updates.
Yep.
So that's how they're planning on doing that.
Yeah, and that's the early access starts next month
Mhm.
in July. Now, with that, I saw someone really point out, man, for Xbox this year, Obsidian is Xbox's MVP this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Avowed come out, you have this come out in July, and you have Outer Worlds 2 later this year. I mean, Obsidian is right now Xbox's MVP for this year. So shout out to that. I will say also one other game to shout out, At Fate's End looks pretty cool. That one's on my radar for next year. The graphical art style, how fluid it looked pretty neat. Excited for it. But no, dude, me and like the rest of the internet were so mad with that COD trailer because like we're all like, the amount of reaction I saw from that was the same reaction as me. It was like excited. It's like, oh, this looks pretty cool. This looks, what is this? Just for it to be Black Ops and I was the same reaction as all these other reactions I've seen of just, oh my fucking God. That was my reaction. You make this badass trailer that looked really cool, and it's COD. Cool.
See, meanwhile, I was just like, oh God, okay, moving on.
Which that's the other side of the world who don't really care about Call of Duty. And then there's still that 5% are like, oh yeah, new COD.
Basically.
You're getting your same game, new skin.
Yep.
Some other edge worth story.
I don't know that I've ever played a Call of Duty story.
Modern Warfare 1 and 2 for me. That's the only ones I've done.
The first set or the second set?
The first set, the OGs on 360.
When I buy a COD game, I know what I'm buying it for.
Yeah, exactly. No, I got so mad at that trailer. Just like everyone else did. So shout out to that. I did tune into some of the Outer Worlds 2 direct. I mean, looks cool. Shout out to all the additions they've made. I like the I like the flaws.
I think that's one of the bigger things that people were very interested in was the whole flaw system.
The flaws was great.
The flaw, I will say as well, because like when I played Outer Worlds, I had some very specific like weapon criticisms about the game.
Yeah.
It looks like they've completely addressed that
Yeah.
for this game. because that's one thing that was like one of the starting things they talked out with. Is like we want weapons to feel more unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everything with the direct they showed, it looked pretty solid. I'd never played the Outer Worlds, but this one does look pretty cool.
I'm just happy that they embraced the flaw system, came to
Yeah.
a whole embracement of just like they had. It wasn't called flaws in the first game, but just like if your stats were just too low, like the most notable one was the dumb. If your intelligence was like I think under like 10, you'd gain the dumb answers.
Yeah, it was that. It was a very minor thing in the first game.
But it was something people attached to.
Yeah, so now they get to have bad knees.
Or kleptomania.
Yeah, shout out to that. The bad knees, man. I saw that. I'm just like, God bless. You're calling out so many people, myself included. Jesus. No, I mean, overall, the Xbox Showcase, it was fine. I mean, like I said, it was my favorite show of the big ones we got, but that doesn't mean that it was like, oh my God, I'm going to talk about this thing for years to come, Yeah, it was whatever. It's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the Xbox Showcase was kind of the story of the entire weekend's worth of stuff for me, which was as a lot of games I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
Or it's like a couple in each one. I'm like, yeah, I might. I'll probably check that out. Like I'll play Outer Wilds too.
Yeah. One thing to shout out as well is when Phil Spencer came on, he did confirm that for Xbox's 25th, Gears of War E-Day will come out next year, as well as a new Forza, as well as a new game of something that's been with us since the beginning, and just assume it's probably just new Halo of some capacity. All rumors and reports right now are saying a full-blown like Combat Evolved remake. And I'm just like, I mean, the remaster was kind of borderline a remake.
Yeah, we don't really need another Combat Evolved.
Yeah, but it looks like it might be a Combat Evolved like remake, like an Unreal Engine 5 remake, which would look cool. It would be really cool.
They're just rephrasing how they're trying to sell Marathon.
Oh God, no, that's PlayStation. Remember, Bungie, Bungie, owns them. So, no, one thing I thought about when I saw like Halo Combat Evolved remake is just like, I wonder if they would use that as like potentially the excuse, especially since this Combat Evolved remake would be like Unreal Engine 5. Is I wonder if they would use that as an excuse to kind of start working towards moving on from Infinite. And having this Combat Evolved remake have multiplayer, have online multiplayer. It's something I thought of. Like, could they use that to start moving past Infinite?
I mean, they could.
Yeah.
The multiplayer would still be crap.
What, for the Combat Evolved one?
Yeah, if it's the same service as Infinite.
No, I mean, it would be Unreal Engine. Because the Infinite's slip space, which is what caused them all the problems.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're moving on to Unreal Engine for all future Halo stuff.
Gotcha.
So in theory, it should be a lot easier for the entire team to develop and work on, because apparently that's such a big issue with the last like 3 Halos, is they've all been under this slip space engine, which apparently is an absolute developer nightmare. I don't know beyond anything beyond that, but so I don't know, that's something I thought of, is could they use Combat Evolved remake as an excuse to move on from Infinite, get like back to basics roots, and just let people go play a Halo multiplayer. I don't know, something to think about. We'll see though if it ends up happening. All right, so I guess we can start going through the rest of the weekly wrap up now. Let me go back over to here. So staying in the realm of Microsoft, Microsoft's dedicated handheld has been fully canceled. I know we talked a couple weeks ago that it has been like postponed to focus on stuff, but apparently it has been fully canceled even for like the next gen, as Xbox focuses on a new software platform, which again, we've talked about. They want to try to have a better software interface to compete with the Steam OS, which is kind of taking over the world right now to an extent in the gaming space. And plus, Xbox made its lead on Asus for future handheld versions. So the dedicated handheld for the next generation is done.
It'd be weird to make the partnership and then be like, "Hey, I know we're partners. We're doing our own thing, but just ignore that for now."
Yeah, exactly. Next, I got just a slate of Sony news to shout out. So the Sony CEO recently said that the PS6 is the top priority for Sony right now, which, I mean, I guess in terms of like production timelines, would make sense, but a lot of people are, looked at this like, man, it feels like we're still just getting started with the PS5, because it does. It does still feel like we're just getting started with the PS5,
especially with the next thing there.
Yeah, exactly. For the first time ever, more players are playing the PS5 versus the PS4, confirmed by Sony. But yeah, let's all steam ahead on the PS6. I mean, again, based on timelines and productions and whatever, it makes sense from a business standpoint.
Yeah,
It just
but-
feels weird.
Well, the other thing is, it's like usually, I mean, we've talked about this to death, but it's like usually you go ahead and you make the move to start working on your next generation of console as a way to, or like because the hardware has been pushed to its limits or is getting close to being pushed to its limits, and developers need that new hardware to be able to continue making games. Meanwhile, on the PS5, I don't think we're even close,
Yeah.
really, and especially with the PS5 Pro, it's like you could go another probably 7 years and not have any issues.
Right. Because right now they're looking at 2028 for the PS6. And again, based on timelines, makes sense, right? You get all the checks done, you need trademarks done, patents done, whatever, and then you begin the production process. Makes total sense for the timeline, but it just feels strange because of everything you just said. And it also made me think the other day, if we ever have like one of those like free Saturdays where we got not have a lot to talk about, one idea that I had is we should totally just real quick in like a weekly wrap up thing revisit our episode 100 topic, because like we said at the time, where we rank the Xbox Series and the PS5 could very much change over time. I think we need to revisit that list and see if they get dropped down a little bit because I feel like they might drop down a little bit. I'm not sure. It might be interesting to kind of revisit that sooner or later. Sony also appears to be removing the region restrictions on Steam and PC games.
God
Which that
damn,
was a
get
big
rid
thing.
of them.
Yeah, that was a big
It's
thing
like
for a while.
I mean, it's been a big thing since they went to move to PC.
Yeah,
And it's one where it became one when they started enforcing the account thing, like the Sony account on Steam
yeah,
is when it became an issue. But then even after that, they like even for games where you don't have to log into your Sony account to be able to like play certain games, they're still not like allowing those games in any of those like locked regions
Mhm.
because like they want all of their market to be the same,
yeah,
and since some of their games can't be played there, they're not allowing any of them to be there.
right.
It's the dumbest thing. They're just locking themselves out of hundreds of countries.
Exactly. So it appears that they are removing that. So kudos to them for doing it, but it just took a little too long.
Yeah, took you a year of bad PR.
Right. Sony also confirmed that Wolverine and Intergalactic will launch after March 2026, which that number one is vague as shit, and it was more so just confirming that it's not going to be in this physical year, which I think everyone could have assumed that. What are we even talking about? That this was part of your interview, but whatever. Apparently, Ben Studio, which that is from the Days Gone team, they're laying off about 30% of their studio after their live service game they were working on got canceled, but they are now starting to work on their other project. Man, that sucks for them. It's like you get brought into this with this huge live service motion, and then it's just like, well, your game got canceled before we even showed a single thing of it to the world. So, I mean, I understand why people would have to get laid off if you hired people that work on live service games, multiplayer games, like that's their entire background. I can understand it to a point, but it's still just like, come on, man, that's shitty. It's like you gave them the raw end of the stick, dude. Like, what are we talking about? All right, let's hit this Dragon Age thing. Dragon Age The Veilguard. This is something, brothers. Let me tell you. So yeah, Jason Schreier, he put out a big article about Dragon Age The Veilguard, its development, and just the giant mess that it is. So here's the key takeaways from this thing. BioWare, under extreme pressure after the failures that is Anthem and Andromeda, which I think we can all agree, it makes sense. The OG idea was just a smaller kind of single-player gaming experience, but EA forced a pivot to live service in 2017. So live service multiplayer Dragon Age game.
Well, I mean, a lot of the systems in the game, including how the weapon upgrade system works,
Right.
It makes sense.
It is still very reminiscent of a past system that would have been
Yep.
potentially loot box focused.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can see the remains of it in the game. After that, naturally, the creative director dipped, which totally fair. probably just not his thing, and obviously probably pissed. New creative director aimed for that lighter tone to fit online gameplay, which is also why the initial trailer for the game gave like a Fortnite feel to it,
Yes.
as everyone said. The Anthem failure in 2019, which I forgot that was even 2019, shout out to that, raised massive doubts about repeating past mistakes. In the pandemic era, the game made another pivot back to single player, but without proper pre-production. The team was just given 18 months to overhaul the game and rewrite the entire story. Tight timelines impacted the lack of meaningful choices in the game, which came back in the alpha testing in 2022 that pointed to there's a severe lack of choices that a game like this should have. There was a last-minute addition of choices. Then the Mass Effect team got brought in, which I remember when all this took place, to help finish the game. The Mass Effect team and the Dragon Age team are just totally different working environments, while the Dragon Age team was apparently super laid back and lax, while Mass Effect team is very structured and like, we have a plan of how we do things and let's do it. The Mass Effect leaders rewrote and added multiple scenes, including the game's finale.
Which you know, I don't want to praise Mass Effect in any way, but the final stretch of the game leading to the finale of Dragon Age is by far the best part of Dragon Age.
There's a stark difference.
Right.
It is a total shift. It's like, we have a bunch of shit that's happening, and then, oh man, look, this ending sequence is awesome.
Right. So you can thank the Mass Effect team for that, apparently. So I guess hearing you say that and reading this article, it's just like, oh, well, that makes sense then. You know, that makes sense. And there was more dialogue that was changed after concerned it was going to sound like Forspoken. I thought that was funny, which I could kind of see that because there's definitely some dialogue in the game that I don't mind it for the most part. I didn't mind Forspoken's dialogue, but it's one of those things that I can hear some things in Dragon Age and I can definitely make the connection. So just top to bottom, the development for this game, disaster. Everything about it is a disaster.
The one part of that that when you said it, I went, wait, what? It's when you said added more choices. And I'm like running through my head. I'm like, there's like three meaningful choices in that entire game.
And that's what they added.
Yep.
And one of them is at the beginning of the game, and one of them is like at the end of the game. And I'm pretty sure one of them is a side quest.
Yeah. So it was really one of those things that the game was just so far that you really just couldn't add a lot. So they at least added a few, you know what I mean? So I don't know. And then with BioWare's future, so apparently BioWare only brings in about 5% of EA's revenue yearly. EA getting most of the revenue, of course, from sports and shooters. We knew that. There are analysts that believe EA will continue to support BioWare for the payoff of like a hit RPG because of their history with Mass Effect and what this new Mass Effect could bring. However, analysts would not be surprised if EA just decided to close the doors. At this point, everything rides on the new Mass Effect for BioWare. It comes down to this, brothers. If this new BioWare is anything less than just a massive hit back to trilogy form, BioWare is probably done, boys. This is GG. But man, just what an unfortunate situation. Because like Dragon Age Veilguard, it's not a bad game. It's just not a great game. Like you know, like what you said, it's the most 7 out of 10 game.
That's what I was gonna say. It is the most game happened.
Yeah,
it's like game happened. You'll probably have a decent time playing it.
Yeah, like I mean, it's fine. It's a fine game. You'll have fun to some extent. Like you'll have times where you'll enjoy yourself. But
I mean, to be honest, one of the better games I played last year.
There you go. He platinumed it, right? You did platinum it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, platinumed it. Shout out. So just unfortunate, man. Unfortunate for the Dragon Age team. Unfortunate for BioWare. That this development cycle went. And it's one of those things. It's like, man, this makes me think. I wish BioWare was just like an independent studio again before they ever was purchased by EA. God knows how long ago that was. I don't remember if that was pre Mass Effect 1 or like after Mass Effect 1. I don't remember.
I think it was probably before actually, because I think EA had them beforehand because they made one of the Knights of the Old Republic. They did some work on it.
True. So yeah, my date back even further. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with BioWare. Like I said, everything's riding on the new Mass Effect. I hope they don't fuck it up for my own heart too. All right, let's move on from there. We've got the Mind's Eye situation, brothers. Like when I saw the writing on the wall for this game.
I mean, I haven't seen any of this going on, But like when mine's like kept getting shown off, and I was wondering if I was the only one who was watching it, going, "This is shit," right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I very
everyone
much
did.
thought about it.
Everyone did.
I like every time it came up, I was like, "What is Mind's Eye?" I'd start playing it. Oh, it's a shitty game.
Yeah.
That entire trailer, every time they pulled up the main character, I went, "What's wrong with his face?"
Right. Right. And like every time someone showed the trailer, everyone could have all the collective agreement of, this is not a game that's supposed to come out in like 2 weeks. Like, what are we doing? The fact this game is coming out in June is a disaster.
I don't even know what it's about.
I don't know what it's about either. It's like a GTA-esque world. It's like cyberpunk.
I thought it was supposed to be like a GTA type experience.
Yeah.
Or that, or what was that? Was it Ubisoft one?
Deus Ex?
No, was it Ubisoft? The one where you could like hack into people and stuff.
Oh, Watch Dogs?
Yeah. So I think it's supposed to be like a blend of those kind of.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that it like the game had automatic some form of notoriety behind it because the creative director of the game was the creative director for like all the OG like GTAs that everyone loved and grew up with. 3, Vice, San Andreas. He was part of the Red Dead Redemption team, like as like creative lead, creative director, right? So it's like that alone is what brought everyone's eyes to it to some capacity. It's like, oh, there's a big name behind this. But now everyone's asking, now this game came out, everyone's just like, what did this dude do at Rockstar? It's just like, what happened here? But no, everything about this game said red flags to me, dude, because like he was doing interviews like a month ago saying that he thinks there, studios and publishers around the gaming industry is going to be paying publications to review bomb the game. Then he left the studio right before it came out, which then caused like almost like it felt awkward. Honestly, I think it was part of Summer Game Fest where they showed Mind's Eye, and like the lead, like the CEO of IO Interactive, which is publishing the game, was like the one up talking about it. It just felt awkward. Like he didn't want to be up there, but he
I don't
had
even
to.
remember that.
Hey,
He was there.
Hey, if you would have watched the IO Interactive showcase, everything about that was awkward.
Yeah, I believe it. No, it's just like everything about this game just screamed red flag to me. And it came in at a 44 on Metacritic. It's a shout out.
It's impressive.
And yeah, it is. And Sony is now pulling a Cyberpunk, and they are refunding people for the game. But the difference between Cyberpunk and Mind's Eye is we all had really high expectations for Cyberpunk. People are just buying this to see how shitty it really is. Jesus. But the devs have put out a roadmap to fix the shit show. Just don't. Move on. Like, it's done. You got a 44 on Metacritic. Dude, it's done.
Yeah.
Move on, brother.
I think the difference there would be Cyberpunk, even playing it was broken. There was something there.
Yeah, there was something there. There was a good game.
There was something people were interested in there. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, so devs, no, move on. Move on, brother. Oh, Jesus. All right, next thing. Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling console in history. It sold 3.5 million units in just 4 days.
And people said they weren't going to buy it.
Right? Right?
That's been the only thing I've seen.
Yeah.
It's like everybody was leading up to it, everybody going, boycott it for the price. And then those articles start coming out. I'm like, yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, seems about right.
Boycott Nintendo? What are you talking about?
Right? Nintendo announced a new Splatoon spin-off game, Splatoon Raiders, but they announced it very specifically on the Nintendo Today app. So there was no official like announcement about it. It was like on like Twitter or YouTube. It was just on the app. Go on your app. Go get it. You got a new Splatoon game coming out.
So what can you tell us about it, Alex?
Can't tell you a thing. I don't know. I didn't look.
I was gonna say, I feel like this isn't meant to. It's gonna sound bad. I don't mean it to be. I feel like the people that game is made for are the people that would have been on the app.
True.
Like that's just, those are Nintendo players.
Yep.
They're the ones that would have the app.
I've got the app.
Be checking it.
I've got the app. Don't have notifications on. Don't check the app. Did not know this was a thing until I saw it on Twitter. So shout out. Freedom Wars remastered demo is out right now. I feel like that's something you probably should have put out before the game came out a few months ago. But hey, it's out now, so you can go play it. Was that a PSP or a PS Vita game, Zach? I think it was PSP, right?
It was on the PSP. I thought it was on
I can't remember.
DS.
It was one of the two. No, it might have been on DS. I'm pretty sure. No, it was PSP.
I just didn't know what this was.
Just like
I think I'm thinking of a different game.
like just JRPG. Everyone's a prisoner. They're fighting for their freedom.
Okay.
Right, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of a completely different game.
Was that PSP or Vita?
That would be PSP, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, yeah. They did a remaster for it. I downloaded the demo. I started the demo. I mean, again, feels like that's something that you probably should have put out before the game came out, not 4 months later. But whatever, it's out. Still Wakes the Deep's getting a DLC. Sirens Deep launching on the 18th, June 18th. So shout out to that. Still Wakes the Deep. I did try that last year. It's pretty fun. Silent Hill 1 remake was announced by Konami. Bloober Team will be the developer, which they did the Silent Hill 2 remake. So this has got a lot of people pretty excited.
Still fun and funny they're doing it backwards.
Right. They did the popular one first.
Yeah, I mean, they did.
Yeah.
You gotta hit the sales numbers before you have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. Fantasy Life I has passed 1 million units sold. Hey, big shout out, man. Big shout out. Christina's super pumped about this. It's just one of those things, dude. Fantasy Life I just came out in the right era. You know what I mean? So shout out. Witcher 3 rumored to be getting a new DLC.
You're
in 2026.
releasing a new game already. Stop it.
Right?
It's the connection between 3 and 4.
There
We
you go.
don't need it.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, because everyone already hates that it's going to be Siri. So
I
we need,
don't because I haven't played any of the Witcher games, and I'll
Well,
probably play 4.
But a majority of the Witcher fans hate that it's going to be Siri for some reason. So we need this DLC to transition to Siri.
You guys are picky. It's like just shut up and play the game. You may hate it Siri, everybody, but you're gonna play the game anyway.
I mean, they are, and they're still going to probably like Siri, but at the same time,
Yeah,
they don't like it.
Everybody's gonna hate it. I don't want to play Siri. Then they're gonna start playing Siri. Go, oh, I love playing Siri.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That is true.
I'm in agreement with this.
That's true.
I'm
that's
in
true.
I'm in full agreement that hate for Siri in Witcher 4 is dumb.
Oh man. Where was I? I lost. Oh, Resident Evil 9 is going to be playable in first and third person.
Make a decision, damn it.
No, it's both.
No, Zach, you make a decision.
Yeah, you make the call, buddy.
Am I playing the new generation of Resident Evil or am I playing the old?
Both. Let's see. Hands-on previews of Pragmata are super positive.
What is Pragmata?
That was that lead off, like one of the lead off Capcom games that was part of the State of Play. So you didn't see the State of Play.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like it was a sci-fi, like third-person shooter. You got like a little robot girl that you're protecting and whatever. Looks cool.
Sci-fi mech-ish game with little girl.
There you go.
That doesn't sound great.
Just
go
when
watch
you
the
phrase
trailer.
it like that.
Just go watch the trailer.
Zach, that's what it is. So just watch a trailer later.
Yeah, just
Watch it. You can watch it now if you want.
Yeah, exactly. Capcom will also be counting Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards as digital sales.
As they should.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically that's
I mean,
correct.
It's not
yes.
a physical game.
Yeah, I mean, that's technically correct. It sucks, but it's technically correct. Chief producer of Persona 5X said that Persona 1 and 2 collabs would be difficult due to them not having 3D games and would have to create the models from scratch. Enough interest, though, can make it happen, however. So, shout out. Imagine if the first thing of 3D models you get of those games is going to be from Persona 5X. I could see it.
I could see it as well.
Yep.
Because, I mean, first 3D models is either going to be on a new engine, so they're not going to look anything like their originals.
Yep.
They already changed them how they looked on the PSP.
Yep.
Man, you know I don't give a shit about Persona because I was looking at that going, what's a PlayStation X?
A PlayStation X. New console that just got revealed.
I was like, man, I don't know what this. Like, did he mistype that somehow?
I do that a lot, so it's a fair thing to assume. Let's see. Just Cause 5 was canceled mid-development.
Damn.
Yep. Rip. That was the last piece of news that I had. You guys got anything?
No. You guys are having too much dead air here. Quit staring at each other and move on.
I'm not the lead.
I couldn't help it. I was
You
mesmerized by his eyes.
You know he's got nothing over there.
I was staring into his soul.
He's got nothing. He's been done for about 10 minutes.
He's not wrong.
All right, time for Gamestetic Game of the Week. John, what are you bringing to the table this week?
Gamestetic Game of the Week for this week is a game called The Survivalists. It is a isometric, like, survival craft building type game that can be played in co-op. I don't think there's much of a story to it really, but you kind of just on an island and kind of top down. It's an isometric top perspective, and it's a survival crafting game at its core. It's a lot of fun. I don't know how much content it actually has. I think I played it for like 10 hours, maybe 10 hours or so, and felt like I did just about everything there was to it. But you can always find more stuff to do in it. It's pretty fun though. It's got like little dungeons to explore, open world. It's got you end up having a little bit of like create a raft and go around and stuff like that. The gimmick to the game is for kind of, because in a lot of these type of games, there's a bit of automation that you can end up doing. The automation in this game is you rescue monkeys from cages, and then you command the monkeys to build and craft your items for you. That's the gimmick of the game.
All right, cool.
Your automation is you go around the map collecting monkeys, and then they work at your base for you. But it's a fun, cutesy little game. I believe it's in the same vein of like the Escapists and them. This is just the survival version, like offshoot type game.
So is it in that sort of 16-bit look?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, same art style, everything. A lot of fun. I played it co-op, and it's just another enjoyable like survival crafting type game, but like one without a lot like large commitment that you have to
Is
put
it
into it.
large more focused on the crafting than the surviving?
Yeah, it's like the surviving aspect of it is basically just down to there's food in the game so you can restore your health type thing. And then but it's mostly crafting. But yeah, it's a cute little crafting type game. A lot of these type games usually have like a long commitment, long play time that you could do to it. This is a shorter one, so thought I'd chat it out.
Nice. Another Gamesthetic game of the week in the books. Also, shout out to Today's for Atlas Reactor.
Why?
The original video that I uploaded to YouTube Studio and posted, and I immediately went to the public video, whatever, to go check it real quick. I forgot to include game footage. So it's just us on the side and black. And I'm like, damn it. All right, take that down real quick. I got to go make the new video real fast.
Fitting.
Yeah, I guess fitting, yeah. Rest in peace,
the
Atlas
game's
Reactor.
dead.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's hit the music. Let's get out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. If you can give me a better description of what the heck the altars is, I'll appreciate it.
I like that. If you like what you saw here with us, we do these live streams every Saturday-ish, about 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to come check us out live, that's when we'll be here.
The Altars is a great game where you just build. Where it's a base building survival game. With narrative and
nobody
choices,
said it was a
and you
bad
go out
game.
and
We
you
just said
venture out and get resources.
You spent
and
25 minutes talking about it. And we don't know what the game is.
Just go download it. It's on Game Pass, brother.
You're supposed to convince us. I'm just confused.
I feel like I did a wonderful job. And hopefully you had a great time listening to the show. If you want to support us further, the Patreon is a great way to do so. As well as join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend, and check out some Agent Ink and Rogue Energy with the referral link down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.